Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
In the 90s, we were just teeny tykes. We liked our movies and our bikes. We wanted to be DJs, but we were just teeny gals. So we went off to college and we remained best pals. 20 years later, we're still watching flicks and we're bringing you the favorite bit by bit. Sweety and Sweety are here to say it's the Large Marge Santa's podcast. Hey, hey.
You're standing right now with 9 delegates from 100 gangs. And there's over 100 more. That's 20,000 hardcore members. 40,000 counting affiliates. And 20,000 more not organized, but ready to fight. 60,000 soldiers. Now, there ain't but 20,000 police in the whole town. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Hey guys, welcome to the Large Marge Santa's podcast, your favorite podcast where two Sweety sisters talk about their favorite flicks from childhood. I'm Sweety with a Y, who's 32 years old.
And I'm Sweety with an IE, who's today's not my birthday, but it is Sweety's birthday here. So happy birthday, Sweety. This is your actual birthday, October 14th. Rad. Yeah. And we're doing this on a Sunday. We did some fun stuff today for your birthday. What did we do?
We went to the arcade. We played some games. Sweetie won big on the crane game. She got a fish. We got the world's smallest light bright as a prize, which is right on brand, for us.
Little things that we love.
Yeah.
Also, 90s.
I
90s
know.
toy.
It's everything.
80s toy.
It marks all the boxes.
Yeah. 1,600 tickets, bitches.
Woo! And then we went to Chinese food, and then I drank a pina colada. We came home, watched the Warriors. I had ice cream cake. It was great. It was great. And now we're podcasting.
Oh my God. Is this the best day of your life?
No, I mean, I think we've talked about best days of our lives before. It was no Ron D takes me to Toys R Us and lets me buy whatever I want. But it was nice.
Cool.
And quiet. Just like my soul. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it fits your personality.
Oh.
So, yeah. Sweetie's birthday. So I thought, as one of the many gifts that I gave to her today, let's be real, Best Sister of the Year award over here. Pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
Let's make this podcast about me. So one of the gifts I gave her was, okay, funny story, guys. Sweetie here is really nice and to me and puts up with my shit a lot. But one thing that I never do for her is indulge her by watching movies that she wants me to watch. I'm in a firm belief that if I don't want to watch something, I don't want to watch it. So our literally last 5 years, our relationship has been Sweetie being like, I love this movie, The Warriors. Can we watch that? And I'm like, no. Hard no every time. No. And, she's great because she finally just gave up. And guess what, though? One of the presents I gave her was, let's watch The Warriors for the podcast. So happy freaking birthday to you. I watched The Warriors. Oh, my God.
How do you feel?
Well, I mean, a couple questions. Avi, this movie is like somewhat against type because it didn't really shape our childhood. If you are talking about what movies that we tend to cover,
it was just a present for me.
Exactly.
That you said I could watch.
No, I'm just explaining why we're covering it. But Sweetie watched it later in life and really liked it and talked about it all the time after she watched it. I remember when we were living together, I think this happened, and you were just like obsessed with the movie. And I'm like, what the fuck is this Warriors movie? And I was really confused because our high school team was named the Warriors. I'm like, is it a documentary about the Nauset Regional High School basketball team? No. So
confusing.
question for you, how did you find this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you like it so much? And who's your favorite warrior? We'll cover that at the end.
Oh my God.
Let's go into the first two questions.
Okay. So, like you, this movie, my boyfriend at that time, Ryan, wanted me
Augie.
wanted me to watch this movie with him really badly, and I, like you, refused to. And I said, no, I don't want to watch that movie. I don't think that movie interests me in the slightest. I don't want to watch it. No, thank you. Goodbye. But then it was on TV or something, and we watched it at UMass at college one night. And I instantly became enamored. There's just something about it. Like, it's very cult classic-y. 70s, obviously. It's, like, not super polished. And it just really was inspiring to me because I thought that I was just really, like, I don't know. I was just really impressed by the warriors and their resourcefulness and how they were able to defy all odds and make it home alive. Well, most of them.
Coney Island represent.
And it also, when we were living together in Brookline, it helped me through a couple of late nights when I had to walk home and was afraid I might get killed. And I was like, I'm just going to pretend I'm tough like Swan and just like walk down the street.
Oh, yeah.
And I made it, but I like had a mean mug on my face the whole time, so just like Swan. So like I felt like it was inspirational in that way. Like just be tough, and like even though it's just you or like you've got nothing with you to protect yourself, like just do it anyways.
Angry,
Look
mad.
mean, and then be a badass.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Interesting movie, coming at it first time. Interesting movie. Again, did I know it was about gangs? I think, question mark. But really didn't know anything about it. And then once she had posted on Twitter and people came back with like some famous lines and some shots of it, stuff, it looked a little bit more familiar to me. But, it was very cool and very cool style. It feels like a very cool movie. I felt like cool watching it. It felt cool. However, I probably would rename it thus. Bare-chested men running in leather vests is also the title, the long title for this movie, right? Because there are sweaty dudes wearing vests with no shirts underneath, just running around the city and like trying to jump on subways. I mean, that's basically the movie. And then they fight in between. Yeah. And it's interesting and cool, but it's like that's kind of the gist of it.
I gotta take my candy necklace off. It's strangling me.
Oh, no.
Guess they're made for children. Yeah, no, that's accurate. It's also cool because the novel of this movie was loosely based on some like Greek war or something where like they were outnumbered by like a million to like one and like somehow made it anyways. So that's why a lot of them have like weird Greek names and that kind of thing. Ajax, Cleon, Cyrus. So, yeah, so that's why. So that part's cool. But if you think about it, I mean, yeah, that's what the movie's about because New York is just like one giant subway, right?
Concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
Exactly.
New York.
They have to get home, so makes sense. The question on the sweatiness is confusing because I thought it was summer. Because in the beginning scene, everyone's all sweaty and it's hot and stuff. Yeah. But by the end, when they're back at Coney Island, it's like a dead zone where it looks like Coney Island's closed.
Maybe it took them that long.
It took them months?
Maybe.
I don't remember them sleeping ever. I think it was just like one night. But yeah, okay. But okay, good title. Okay, good alternate title.
Right? Bare-chested men running in leather vests. I mean, it could also be a name of a band. Maybe too long.
Yeah, doesn't really roll off the tongue,
Yeah. But yeah, very cool. So I think we should just get into it, as we normally do with a little synopsis. And that'll help people like just really get into the groove of this. Because, there is a little bit more to this than just men running around bare-chested with leather vests on. I mean, there is really, somewhat of a plot.
Yeah.
So we can talk about it.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
It's time for the Sweety synopsis. Yeah.
Sweeties.
Okay, I have a couple lines I want to say for this. Ready? First one. Can you dig it? Cool. That's like a big one, right?
That's a big one.
And then my second favorite one was, I'm going to shove that bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle.
That's one of my favorites.
Apparently, like on some lists of most like tough guy lines. Number 10 on like the tough guy line list. There's like a list for everything.
Who made a list on that?
I know.
That's
so stupid. But
number 10.
Tough guy lines.
Okay. The Warriors. No last name. That's weird. Now, the Warriors are a gang from Coney Island, and they, like almost other gangs in New York City, have been invited to a late night meeting by the president of one of the biggest gangs in the city.
Time out. Question. So this takes place in like the near future. So is this supposed to be some sort of like post-apocalyptic time where it's like gangs rule the city? And
Did it say it took place in the near future? On the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. I guess. But I think it's... I don't know if it's like supposed to be that far advanced into the future.
Yeah,
Or
well,
just
that's why it
like
says
not
near.
now. I know.
That's, I mean, it didn't have like any crazy technology or anything like that, but just like the state of society. Because there's still cops.
Well, it's
but,
New York City.
Right. But it said in the beginning, like, gangs number cops, like 5 to 1 or something like that. So there's still a like law enforcement around, but there's just not enough of them, right? And like people have formed themselves into these gangs and they're very territorial, right? But then you still have like regular people.
Oh, that's why you asked that. I thought you meant because it was late at night. But no, I just think it's New York City, which was a terrifying place, and in this time period. So that's why it seems so scary. I just feel like that's just a New York. That's just a New York thing.
Deuce.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, sorry, got a cat in a bag situation. Desmond, it is not. Are you gonna pee on that bag? I'll be very upset. No, he's just sitting on it. He's just sleeping on it. Okay. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. After the balls got snipped. Okay. So they get an invite from Cyrus. They go to the Bronx, which is, a zillion miles away from Coney Island, apparently.
Well, it's the opposite end of Manhattan.
Thank you, sweetie, Ms. Geography.
Thank you. You're welcome. I
always-
was on Jeopardy.
I'm
Bye-bye.
always pretty confused by the boroughs. So they go there. They're like, the rules are that every gang gets to send 9 members. Nobody can be packed, which means you can't be carrying a weapon. And there's a truce where you can't, like, kill other gangs. Usually when you're on another gang's turf, like, you engage in battle and, like, get
Turf
killed
wars.
or something. Yeah. But on this, there's a truce, so no fighting.
That's what that meant.
So everybody goes to this, like, wooden playground park thing. And Cyrus comes out in his bathrobe and he's like, Can you count, suckers? And then he tells them all these figures, and he's like, there's 60,000 soldiers or like gang members in New York City versus 25,000 police officers. So obviously if they can count, they can see that they can easily take over New York and just run it as like one giant gang, which is pretty scary if you're a regular person, because you're like, hi, I don't want to be raped every day. Thank you. Bye. Like, it's scary.
Yeah.
So everyone's all excited and everybody's jazzed up about it. And then this real dipshit who looks like Sean Penn, but it's not, gets a gun, even though they weren't supposed to bring a weapon to the meeting, and fucking shoots Cyrus in the chest. Boom, boom, boom. He dead. Actually, it was just one shot. Bang, he's dead.
Right in the heart.
So everyone's like freaking out, and then the spotlight comes on, or the guy that shot Cyrus turns around and sees the leader, or one of the people in the Warriors saw him shoot Cyrus. So he's like, uh-oh, I'm going to kill you. And right before he gets a chance to kill him, spotlights hit, invaded by the cops. The cops have broken up the party, and now all hell breaks loose. So everyone's running in every which direction. Everyone's whatever. Cleon, the leader of the Warriors, goes to like look at Cyrus's body for some reason. And the dipshit Sean Penn guy is like, hey, that's the guy that shot Cyrus. That's the warrior. He's like, so this guy's like has several screws loose, is weird, and I don't know what his problem is.
He's
just
just
like,
cause
he's a loose
trouble?
cannon. Yeah, I don't know. So he's like crazy and says that
Does
they
he have
did
a
it.
mental illness?
He definitely has a mental illness.
Okay.
I have like crazy psycho illness.
Yeah.
So then the Riffs, who that was Cyrus's gang, like gang up on Cleon and like beat him up, and then the rest of the Warriors escape. They don't really know any of this has happened, by the way, so this is just something that the audience is privy to. So they run away, and they're like, whoa, that was some crazy shit. Like, how are we going to get home? So now the problem is, how the fuck are they going to get home when they're all the way in Coney Island, or they're all the way in the Bronx, and they need to get back to Coney Island, and they have no weapons? And how do they know if the truce is still on? No one knows. They don't know. So they're like, well, we just better try and get home and see. We got to do the best we can.
And that's like their first worry because, like you said, they don't know that like actually everyone thinks that they killed Cyrus, who's going to be like this new president of the gangs or whatever. And so they're all after them in that way. Right. So not even from the turf war.
So then the Riffs put out a bulletin on the special gang radio. I don't know if this is like a separate radio station or if it's like for everyone. Who knows? But basically the chief from Carmen Sandiego is like, listen, everybody, the Warriors, we need to look for the Warriors. Everybody find the Warriors. They like them alive, but if they're dead, oh well. So you're like, great. Okay. So now every gang in the city is looking for the Warriors, and they don't know this. So they're just trying to get home, and they just think everybody else just like forgot about the truce. But they need to get home still. So they're like running. They pass all these gangs. The trains keep breaking down. They have to like walk through people's gangs. They pick up some chick named Mercy.
Was she like part of that orphan group or what?
I think originally, but she like wasn't happy and she wanted
she's like the town bicycle because she just keeps getting made fun of for being a slut. And it seems like she enjoys it. So it's like, do your thing.
She just wants like to be maybe part of a real gang or like wants to see like the real world or something. I don't know.
Meanwhile, there's also like, what is that called? When it's like, there's like who's going to take over after like the leader is gone. And then there's like two guys kind of like want to be the leader. So there's like a little bit of that
in the
sort
Warriors?
of dynamic. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, everyone else kind of hates Ajax, but yeah. So Ajax is like the hot-headed one who is played by Richard on Sex and the City for any of you Sex and the
Always
City
a dick, literally.
Yeah. And then Swan, who's the warlord, who's supposed to kind of be like second in command, I guess.
Who does look very Greek. When I was like watching this, I was like, that guy is basically like Adonis. Kind of with a flat nose, but like
you would know because you went to Greece.
I know.
Exactly.
Well, they don't look like it.
But yeah, Swan is like quieter, even tempered, like just like eye on the prize, like none of these like side
like
things.
Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, he looks like a lot of people. He's got one of those faces,
Yeah,
but
also kind of like a drag queen.
Okay,
like
simmer down.
tall, almost like androgynous, somewhat like features,
like Smith Jared. Looks like Smith Jared.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sex of the City, this is just a
Smith Jared Richard.
This is
right?
just a Samantha's ex's movie. Get Home to Coney Island.
Anyway, yeah. So they meet up with a lot of different gangs, right?
Yes,
but they always win because they're so good.
Because they're great. They're the best. So all the gangs try to get them. They all fail. Eventually. Oh, so the bad gang that actually killed Cyrus, the crazy guy there, his name's Luther, apparently.
Yeah, what's that gang name? Do you remember?
The Rogues.
The Rogues.
They're like, well, we need to find the Warriors so that we can kill them, so they don't tell anybody what they saw, aka that it was really Luther that killed Cyrus and not them. So that's their main motivation. So after a while, they find all these gangs. We'll talk about it, but the Riffs find out that actually it wasn't the Warriors that shot Cyrus. They found somebody else that saw it happen, and they bring him in, and he tells them the truth. So then the Warriors finally get home, and unfortunately the Rogues are there, and Creepy is with his like glass bottles doing his weird like finger dance, and he's like, Warriors, come out and play.
Yeah, he's in like some 70s rock band
by himself, just like and then the Warriors arm themselves with various instruments under the dock. Again, they're home, and they could like go home to their warehouse. I don't know, their gang clubhouse, get some weapons. I don't know how that works. But no, they're just like so resourceful. So they get weapons, they go on the beach, they're about to like battle it out with the Rogues. Swan fucking like throws a knife at this guy's hand, and he's like, like
that
dying.
Make sense. Where did the shot go?
I know. Good question. He was just such a bad shot that it missed.
He
I guess
went up in the air, like after it hit him in the arm.
Yeah.
Or something?
Oh yeah.
That guy was such a baby.
They all were. It's like, come on. So then the Riffs show up, and they're like, turns out it wasn't the Warriors. Like, sorry about that. And then they let the Warriors go free and let them know that, like, Coney Island is theirs, but, like, everything else is still, like, theirs, the Riffs. So they're free, and then they take care of the Rogues. Hopefully they kill them because they're fucking annoying, and that's it. And then Mercy and Swan kind of have, like, a little to-do, weird, tumultuous relationship.
Making a relationship?
I don't know. And
doesn't seem like that
that's
is integral
it.
of this movie.
I
I don't know
know.
why they threw that in there, just to have at least like one
I
hot
guess.
body and face running around.
Yeah, I guess people like need that. I don't know.
Right?
I don't, but like
No.
it is weird. But that's it. That's a flicka wicka.
So this, I guess, was like pretty popular. So it came out in 1979 and actually did really well in the theaters, and people were like talking about it. But then apparently they pulled it from theaters because of the gang connection, and like gangs were getting all like riled up or something about it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it was like put ideas in their head. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we can run
So
the
then
city.
they pulled the movie, and then it was still pretty popular. I don't know how people like saw it, and then it became like a cult classic, like you said, which I think is like how you've seen it like through that lens, obviously. But then you've also been to like midnight showings, haven't you, of this? And like, so it's pretty popular.
Yes,
to a lot
I
of
went to
people.
one. Yes. But yes, exactly. I can see how gangs would be like really excited by this. However, these aren't like these aren't your run of the mill gangs.
Well, my favorite part of this movie was like all the different gangs, right?
Exactly.
So that felt like so cool to see and like visualize, and because basically everyone they encounter is like a gang. There is like one scene other than the police where like normal people who are not in the gangs like come on the train from this like weird debutante ball. Like what were they wearing?
just
With like
a prom.
corsages? Oh, prom? They were in high school? Okay.
Hello.
People look so old in the 70s. It's like nuts.
Well, we did have different boobs back then. So.
Yeah. Oh my God, 70s boobs. Don't even get me started. There were covered 70s boobs in this, but I was like 70s boobs.
Yep.
Pick them out of a lineup. You know why? No
It's
bras.
just the style,
Perky
the
nipples.
fashion. It's not the boobs. It's the fashion.
Okay, so let's talk about all the different gangs, right?
Okay.
Because that's pretty interesting. So I have like a whole long list.
Yeah.
I don't even think I got them all.
Of course not.
To
There's
be
way
honest.
too many.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously you have the Warriors. So let's describe the Warriors briefly. So, there's some Native American inspiration, I would say.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah. So the gang is made up of basically white and black guys. And they wear, like I've said 1,000 times now, no bare-chested, except
Well,
this
just
one guy.
Swan. No, but they all wear shirts except for Swan, I think.
No. Ajax didn't have a shirt on.
Yeah, he did. He had like a black weird tank top on.
Okay, because that was going to be one of my questions. Would you be a warrior who wore something underneath their vest or
I
no?
would be uncomfortable with my boobs out. Am I a man?
No, you're a man.
Oh. Like, I don't think that's fair.
I like creepily visualizing that, and I can't stop laughing.
Stop it. No, yeah, if I was like Swan, yeah, I'd keep it open. If it's
Yeah.
like a hot night, if it was a little breezy, I might close
Well,
the
it
flap.
just has like the whole look. So I'm like surprised they didn't like demand the dress code, being like, "Listen, fellas, we're doing no shirts tonight." But they didn't. So yeah, so it's like a brown leather vest, and they have like it's like a Native American headdress on the back or something that
Yeah,
says
something like that.
Warriors.
Mhm.
And then some of the guys have like headbands with feathers and beads hanging
Some
off
of
of
them
it.
go all
So it is like
out.
totes cultural appropriation. So you're like, but they're the Warriors and they kick butt. So
Yeah,
I
they
guess
do.
that's okay. Okay, what's next?
So we got some sparkly pimps. These
Is
guys,
that the zoot suits? Because that's what I wrote down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess that is what that is. We're like cool
yeah.
purple sparkly vests and like pimp hats.
Yep.
I love it. There's some mimes.
Oh my God, the mime gang is the best. You're like, why is there a mime
Well,
gang?
like some of them are so elaborate, and it's like, okay, going out to be in the gang, bye, mom, and they're like putting on makeup for 2 hours, and then like miming into the street. Like, how did they fight?
How good fighters are they? They just mime the fight.
They're like,
throwing
this
a fake
is a
knife.
bat.
They're doing like a rope.
That would be great.
Climbing up a rope.
Oh, I want to see that now.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good. one.
Okay, there was kind of a variations on a couple very similar themes. So you had jeans, black t-shirt gang. Then you had jeans, black tank top gang.
Huh.
Interesting.
You're sure that wasn't the same gang?
It was not the same gang.
Okay. There's also casual army fatigues gang.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you call these, but they're like a Robin Hood popper gang, like with those little bonnet hats.
What
are those called?
Put them as the samurai / Asian gang because I think they're all
okay,
Asian
okay.
guys.
Got it.
There was one with silver sparkly jackets. That was kind of
That said-
interesting.
was that the electric illuminators?
No, the electric illuminators was a different one. Who were they?
I don't know.
Who
Just-
were
They
they?
were the electric illuminators.
Okay, one of my favorites, Straw Fedora Gang.
Wow, that's one of your favorites? Okay.
Douchebags.
Okay.
I just looked funny.
I found kind of like a breakdance gang. They look like they could be breakdancing. They had like those like sweatbands, like Crazy Legs had in Flashdance, you know.
Yep.
There's
You
and
had
then
you had the refs, which you already talked about,
Right.
gang. So it's like the major gang, but I put them as the bathrobe
yeah,
gang.
they like their bathrobes, which hey, we love our bathrobes too.
I would
so
totally
like,
be a
I'd
ref.
probably join that gang. I found, and then there's guys who are wearing like regular leotards, but like with pants on, but they look like they could be dancers too. I saw some newsies. I saw some newsy gangs. My favorite one that I spotted this time, and every time I watch this, I find a new gang, and I'm like, oh, look at that gang. This time it was the purple knitted beret gang.
Interesting.
Totally into it.
I miss them. I enjoyed the Hawaiian shirt gang.
Very relaxed.
Very
I wonder what their
relaxed.
fighting style is
Yeah,
like
they're
also.
probably like whatever. Then there was the hick overalls with plaid shirt gang, sometimes with roller skates. Weird.
Oh, I think, were those two different gangs?
No, that was the same gang.
Oh, well, all right.
They had like rugby shirts underneath the
yeah.
overalls. Sorry, not plaid.
Okay.
Sorry.
That was confusing.
Yes.
Anyone else?
The Baseball Furies, which are probably the scariest gang. Essentially, they are like Yankees players with half their face painted like Kiss.
Yeah, they're really scary.
But they totally suck, you guys.
Yeah.
That's the thing with most of these like gangs, that they're like play it all tough, but they're actually like horrible. And the Baseball Furies, they fight with bats and they don't even know how to use them. They get their bats stolen from them and then get the shit kicked out of them with their own bats. I mean, that's
It's
bad.
really sad. So
Then you have
yeah.
the Orphan Gang.
Oh, yep, which were like a C-list gang, like they're not even
Yeah.
on like the network of
Again,
gangs.
like wusses don't know what
Yeah.
they're doing. I guess they're just
That's the
like
point, yeah.
orphans.
Yeah.
Right? That was like kind of thing. And then you had the Girl Gang.
Oof, the Lizzies, they were cool.
Yeah.
Anything else? I have a list of every gang in the movie.
Oh my
I'm gonna,
God.
like read a couple highlights. So we got the Alley Cats, the Amsterdam All Stars, the Baseball Furies, the Black Hands, the Black Jacks, the Big Trains, the Bappas, the Boyle Avenue Runners, the Charlemagnes, the Colt 45s, the Dealers, the Delany Rovers, the E Street Blazers. Oh my God.
Is Bruce Springsteen
I
in
don't
that
know.
band?
Probably. The Electric
gang.
Eliminators, we talked about. The 8th Street Bombers, 8th Avenue Apaches, the Fastballs. I wonder if their theme song is anyone can see the road that they walk on is paved in gold. You know, Fastball. That's the band. Fastball sings that song the way.
They do?
Were you not brought up in the 90s? That is disappointing. Okay. We also got the Imps, the Jesters, the Judas Bunch. Ooh. The Meat Packers. That's a good one. The Mongols. Ooh. And the Savage Huns. The Shanghai Sultans. Maybe that's your guys. Yeah. The Speedwagons. The Stevedores. What? Ooh, the Stilettos. Is that another girl one? I don't know. The Whispers, the Yo-Yos, the Youngbloods, the Zodiacs, the Zulus.
Okay. There's so many.
I know.
That's crazy. Well, they definitely were not all named, but cool that they have names. Pretty cool. Yeah. So everyone is so cool, and like, well, like, you know, obviously it's like half the thing is like making up an outfit for your team. That's not the right word, but like your gang.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like known by that. But also some amazing
your
hairstyles in
colors.
this movie because it takes place in 1979. So you got a lot of good, like, shag. I don't even know what you call that for, like, men have, like, shag cuts like that. You know, it's kind of, like, loose. And
The
like,
mob?
on their face.
The Man Bob.
Yeah, kind of like man bob, but also kind of like Prince Valiant-like style with, like, bangs and stuff. But then you had a lot of afros.
So many fros.
Yeah, whether it was white men or black men or Hispanic,
All
whatever. Like,
fros.
everyone had a fro. Which was
Fro for show.
Fro
yo.
So yeah, so that was like such a cool part of it. I really enjoyed looking at all the different gangs. But like
It's definitely a highlight.
Warriors prevail every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So there's a couple key moments. So we've got the Baseball Furies fight, which is the most memorable scene, I think, in the movie. It's definitely what stuck out to me the most when I saw it for the first time. But and like we said, they just look fucking scary, and then they run, and they have this like really mean look on their face when they're running, and you're like, ooh, I don't want to meet them in a dark alleyway.
Right.
And again, super letdown. I mean, what are you gonna do? Your weapon is a baseball bat. I don't know. I don't think it's that.
Well, that just be something you should use in addition. You should also know how to like fight with your hands and stuff like that. And they don't
And
seem
maybe
to
like a
have that.
knife or something. Like what? Get
Yeah.
it together.
I mean, don't lock yourself into one weapon.
Yeah. So it's a big fight scene. The scene with the roller skate guy. He's the only. I used to think that they all had roller skates on, but it's just that one guy. And I love that scene because it's the roller skate guy and his like buddies don't notice that the other warriors have joined the fray, and Swan just like wordlessly communicates to them with like his eyes like what they should do, and they like go and hide in the bathroom, and then he goes in the bathroom, and the other gang thinks it's just him and this girl in the bathroom, so they're like, we're gonna get him. So then they go in and they're ambushed by the rest of the gang, so it's like, ha.
Yeah,
There's a
that
big
was
brawl
really,
there.
really good scene in the
A
bathroom.
lot of like the cops getting into it, and then they're chasing them, so the cops become like another obstacle. Is there another big fight scene?
The Lizzie's one.
Oh yeah, the Lizzie's one. There. So the downfall of the warriors for most of them is that they see a woman, they're like, yes, now is the perfect time to score some and get some butt.
It was so odd. I'm like,
We don't have time for this.
we don't have time.
So they go. These girls take them back to their apartment, and it turns out they're a girl gang. And this doesn't set any red flags off in the two guys' head, but it does in the little guy, Rembrandt, who I always think of as like a junior warrior.
Yeah.
He seems to be like a warrior in training, and his main job is just to like paint the tag on the thing,
Which
hence
is a W.
Rembrandt.
Yep.
And he's obviously like, this is not a good idea. Like, we need to get out of here. And he's right, because the Lizzies are packing, and they have knives and guns, and they try to get them because like, obviously they want to try to get the warriors too.
Yeah.
I mean, the Riffs didn't say they were giving an award, but they probably would have given you something. I don't know.
Well, okay, first off, sexist to not consider that, like, you know, girls would not be in the gang, and then that, you know, they were safe in that area. Did
But
they
he
learn?
did say, because he was
Oh.
like, what outfit is this? And they're like, we're the Lizzies. So I thought he knew that they were a gang, but like
did they
he
not
didn't
know there was like a price?
he just didn't think there
they
was-
didn't know that there was
Right.
like a price on there.
until that moment.
Yeah.
And then Rembrandt hears them say,
Yeah.
"That's you, the
Okay.
warriors." Yeah.
But also cool about that scene is that they didn't hold back like during the fight. So it's, you have a lot of like women getting punched. This woman, this hilarious slow motion, gets hit with a chair, and like her like head snaps back, and like,
pretty great.
but they're like pretty tough. The horrible shots. They were in this like tiny room, and they weren't able to shoot 3 guys with a gun. Like, girls, target practice. But that was pretty cool. I mean, obviously, I'm not like, yay, I want to see like women hit in movies, but I think it's like when it's cool to see that. You know, kind of what I complained about in like Karate Kid, next Karate Kid. Like, you know, women can fight men. It's not like, you know, it's not
Didn't
out,
you say that you wanted her to fight a girl at the end? And I was like, no.
Did I?
She needs to fight him. It's cool that it's a guy because it's like they're not holding back and she can, re-listen to that
yeah,
one.
I
You're
might
stealing
have.
my ideas.
Okay, so I'm like flipping that on its head a little bit, but I just thought that was cool that they didn't hold anything back, and the girls were treated the same way as the men. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. And it serves them right for not for underestimating
Yes.
their
No, I
power
know.
there. Like,
I
take
know.
that. And then what else stands out? And then obviously the scene at the end, everyone always cites as being very important to this movie with the glass bottles on his hands. And it's such a weird thing because they don't show you like what's making that sound at first, and you just hear these little clinks, and the warriors are kind of like, they're not like letting on that they're like freaked the fuck out by whatever that is, but you can kind of see it in their eyes. They're like, I don't know what that is. And then you see him with the bottles, and he's like doing a dance, and he's like, yeah. And he's
Yeah,
like,
well, there's
"Oh,
definitely
yay."
like a couple creepy parts to this movie. So that one, like, for sure. And it's like super unsettling because he keeps doing it too. It goes on for like a beat too long, which makes you really uncomfortable, which is awesome. Second of all, that fucking roller skating like guy with the overalls was fucking creepy as hell. And he looked like a scary like otherworld Matt Dillon. It was strange. And then the baseball guys, like you said, like super creepy imagery too. That's just kind of like, ugh, like very unsettling, you know. And it's like a dirty world too. You have these
it's
subways,
very
with
dirty. It's
graffiti, not only on the outside but the inside too.
nighttime. Well, that was what the subways
I
looked like
know.
until the
York ones
late
are
80s.
tough.
Yeah, I mean, it was scary. I mean, think of it, even Adventures in Babysitting, which was Chicago, but still, it's
Yeah.
like those those gangs on the train are no joke. And they did show a couple of times when real people were on the train, other than the prom. There was some other like old ladies coming home from work. Can you imagine if you were like on the train and like this gang came in with the warriors? I'd be so freaked out.
Oh my God.
It'd be really scary. But yeah, those are the standout scenes for sure. And like I said to Sweetie when I was watching this, if anything, this movie really just taught me a lot about the New York City subway system. Wow.
That was literally half the movie is them trying to time it and like get on a train.
Well, it's true. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
They were right. They're like, what are we waiting here for? And they're like,
know,
a train would be
really
nice.
Tense.
Yeah, because you can't just like go up on the platform because
Yeah.
someone could jap them. What was up with that? Is that racist? Probably.
Well, so
Japped?
someone does get thrown like in front of a train, but I learned in the trivia it was because that guy basically got written out of the movie because he quit. He like really didn't get along with the director.
So
they
yeah,
wrote
okay,
him out,
yeah.
but-
So it is. So jap just means like this is horribly racist, but is to do something underhanded or sneaky. This is associated with the Japanese sneak attack on Pearl Harbor.
Right. Okay.
So
Don't use that
yikes!
phrase.
Yeah, we're not going to use that,
Guys.
obviously.
Yeah. So like a lot of unsettling scenes, but it is like really cool, and I did like the world that they built. It was interesting, but yeah. So let's go over the warriors themselves. Who's your favorite warrior?
My favorite warrior is Cleon, even though he's only in it for like
The lion
3
guy?
seconds. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with him. He's so cool.
He is
He's
cool.
super hot, and he's just like really tough. And even though he gets like taken down in the beginning, I still like really love him, and I love his head scarf thing. Like I think it's so fucking dope. I love him. I love him.
Yeah,
I love
you
him.
remind me of like a lion, like the king of the pack.
Yeah,
or
I
something
briefly
like
thought
that.
about naming one of my cats Cleon. Should I ever get one?
Wow.
But it just didn't. It didn't fit.
Letters to Cleon.
It's a good one. Yeah, yeah. So he's my favorite. Who's
Kings
your
of
favorite?
Cleon. go on all day.
Who's your favorite warrior?
Who's my favorite warrior? I like Little Rembrandt. I thought he was adorable, and I like that
very
he
sweet.
named him, you know, because he was tagging, and then they named him after a
Mm-hmm.
famous painter. Like that was cool. He like there's a much like such a realness to him. Like they had like one shot of him where they showed his face, and he had like either like zits
Yeah.
or razor burn or something, and I
like,
was like,
all
damn,
of
this
the
movie is
above.
real. You know, because then you have like Ajax and even like who's the main guy? Swan, who are like kind of like perfect specimens. I mean, they have like really nice bodies and, you know, a little bit like better looking. And then you have that guy I'm like, dang, is that guy in like a real gang? He looks like legit.
Oh,
So-
or
so I
is
really
he
like
like
that.
15? Like he just seems so young,
Yeah.
and he was obviously the smartest one because he understood things.
Yeah.
And
No, he was awesome.
Yeah.
I also kind of like that sort of like Guido, like Italian kind of one, like the goober one who was like kind of funny.
oh, Vermin.
yeah.
He's annoying.
is
He's
annoying.
like such a goober. Yeah,
I'm like,
you're
why
right.
are you in that gang?
You're
It
right.
doesn't, like fit.
And I like Fox a lot, but again, he gets thrown in front of the train.
Yeah,
So
that was
that was
sad.
sad. But he was really smart, and he was in The Thing actually, which Sweetie just
was?
watched a couple weeks ago. Yeah. We've also got Cochise, who's the guy with like the
Wait, in The Thing, is he the DJ guy?
yeah, I think so.
Or who works the radio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Cochise, who's like the elaborate headdress kind of one with the
Okay.
feathers.
Yep. Yeah, he's cool.
Ajax, again, we talked about
Oh,
him.
he's my least
yeah,
favorite.
obviously.
Like,
he's like such a
disgusting.
dick. Like, like challenges everything. Like, dude, like go be in the rogues. He seemed like a rogue kind of guy. Like,
yeah.
you're
just,
not.
Like,
you don't belong here.
He's
Like, can we
just
vote him out of the
gross
club, out of the
and-
gang?
I know. And he's like always talking about like getting like, you know, getting the ladies, which gets him into trouble eventually because he like comes on to a cop.
Yeah,
He doesn't
so
know it's a cop.
yeah. So this scene is also pretty creepy, and it stars
yeah.
Mercedes Rule, who you know is the mom in Big, and she is like this woman. They're in this park after beating up the baseball furies, and they're walking through and they see this woman on a bench who's kind of like out of it. Like she looks a little off. And they walk by her and they don't surprisingly really do anything to her. The cowboy guy like tips his hat. It's like, that went well. Like if I was that woman, I'd be like, phew, made it. But then of course Ajax is like, I need to get some ass. Like I'm gonna go back out there and have sex with her. And everyone's like, don't do it, man. Like there's girls in Coney Island. Like let's just get home. He's like, no, it's for free. Like, well, like such a sleaze. So he goes over there and starts like sweet talking to her and then just like grabs her tit and like assaults her. And it's really creepy. And then she handcuffs him. And
Oh, sorry. This is what I was going to bring up too. With that scene is that like he's like all talk, right? And he's like, I'm going to get some ass, like whatever. And like he's just disgusting. But when he goes and eventually like goes to like seduce her, he's like kind of quiet and like meek about it, you know? And like I know he eventually becomes like a rapist, but like
yeah.
but it was interesting like how that's how he like played it. versus just like forcing himself on her.
Gotta make her not scared, I guess.
Yeah, but it was gross. He's like biting her or something.
Yeah,
Or I
it was
guess
really
that was
scary.
kissing, but it was like, ugh.
No, it may have been biting. I don't know. It was, ew. But yeah, she's an undercover cop, and she like handcuffs him, and then like blows her whistle, and the cops come and arrest him. Ha, sucker. But it's such a weird scene. But yeah, that was like his standout scene and his downfall, obviously. The other guy, Snow, who I thought he called Joe, he kind of has the fro with the headband, the like that kind of thing. Cowboy with the cowboy hat, obviously. Furman, I think that's it. Yeah. And then Mercy, who they just pick up from the orphans. And like we said, they're pretty mean to her. And obviously her and Swan have a bit of a tumultuous relationship.
Well, it said that they wanted the love interest to be with Fox instead, but they had zero chemistry, so they had to switch it.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Sorry,
right?
buddy.
And that couple does have good chemistry, but it's like Swan doesn't really care. Like he's actually trying to do his job.
Well, there's like this one weird part where she's like, "Why are you so mean to me?" And he's like, "I don't like the way you live." Yeah. And you're like, "What?
He's
Why
a
does
slut
he have all
shamer.
these like weird morals all
I
of a
don't
sudden?" I'm like,
know.
"You're in a gang." It was bizarre. But then he like kisses her, and then he's like, "Does he like her now?" I don't know.
I don't know.
He gives her a corsage that the prom goers leave on the subway car because he
And then
doesn't like to see
She's
things
kind
go
of
to
like
waste.
his girl. 'Cause
Yeah.
He's like escorting her everywhere,
weird.
make sure she's okay. And,
And
I'm
then
like,
at
what's
the
happening
end,
here?
it's kind of like, are they going to go and see the world together? Because the funny thing is, they like spend all this time getting home, and then they finally get home to Coney Island, and Swan's like, "This is it? Like, this is what we fought all night to get home to? Like, this place sucks."
It does suck. If you've
And
ever been to
so-
Coney Island, it's the worst.
No, but and then they're like, "Well, let's go someplace else." So maybe they go, and maybe they make it. Maybe
What's
they
the rest
made
of
it.
the world like in this world?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly didn't really know it was like a futuristic thing, so no clue. But yeah, and I just really like that scene at the end where they're like on the beach. It's so cool, and he has
Yeah, that's
that
pretty cool.
line where he's like usually when we see the ocean, we figure we're home, we're safe.
Yeah.
So I like that, being from a place with an ocean.
Yeah, and like honestly, in my thing that I always ask, did they make it? Like, I really don't see that couple making it. Swan seems like a really difficult boyfriend, and like I don't know, he just seems like was so wooden and like
I think if
not
we just
there.
take him out of the gang environment, he'll probably be fine.
He
just
seems so vacant.
I mean, I think that's his style, right? That's like how he gets by. That's how he makes it.
I mean, no warmth to that character at all.
Yeah, I mean,
Which
he
you're not supposed to.
literally doesn't smile the whole time.
I
But
know.
I
mean, dating
mean,
someone who doesn't smile, like
well,
help.
I mean, again, I think out of that environment, he'd be fine.
I don't know, Mercy. I think you could do better.
Probably, yeah. She needs to get out, see the world.
Yeah.
Get a real bra. You know, live a
Not
little.
a real bra or one at all.
Live a little. Yeah, she wears this pink tank top that's like it looks like bathing suit material, but or maybe like what is that? Like it's like whatever leotards are made
Yeah.
out of. It might be. I think it's a leotard
Probably.
and like a skirt. So yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty
Yeah.
crazy. What else do you want to
Want
say?
to hear a fun
Oh.
history fact?
Oh yes.
Sweetie history time. Yeah. I love history. History nerd. I need to like work on my tagline for that. Ronald Reagan, huge fan of this film. Screened it at Camp David. Loved it. Weird choice, Ronald Reagan.
Why is he a fan of
The
it?
Gipper.
I mean,
What's
he
going
was an
on?
actor. Ronald Reagan, the actor.
The
So
actor?
you know he's got an eye for that kind of thing. Hey, I'll support it. Interesting though.
Yeah.
Um,
But like about gangs? I don't know, dude. Like, yikes.
Maybe he was screening it so that they could like know what to do and like cut off why they needed to cut off all gang activity, you know, ever.
Is this
So-
your favorite gang movie?
What's another gang movie that I would?
Gangs of New York.
Oh, I've never seen that. Yeah, then
Dangerous
I
Minds?
guess it's my favorite gang movie. Although, I don't know. Gangs are fascinating. I think I watched a documentary or something about gangs, and there's so many, and they're really not seen like in this movie. They're obviously like out and about on the town every night, but in reality, I think gangs kind of like lay low and like cause trouble. But well, maybe just because we don't live in an area with a lot of gangs, but I thought the idea
Well,
is
there's
that things
definitely
happen.
gangs here.
Oh no, there are, but
We don't
I mean,
run in those circles.
but like the gangs that span across like the country are like the most
Oh, the big
fascinating,
ones.
like
Bloods
the Bloods and the Crips and the Kings and the stuff like that. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's
That
just
seems
crazy.
So of all those gangs that we did talk about, we listed all those and whatever. Which one would you want to be in? Second part to that question: what would your gang name be?
But if I want to be in a gang, doesn't it already have a name?
No, first you choose a gang.
Oh, your personal gang name.
Yep.
I mean, like, I would obviously want to be in the Warriors because they're like
No, you
badass.
can't be the Warriors.
What? You
Well,
didn't
just
say
can't.
that in the beginning.
Sorry, can't be the worst.
Well, then we already said we'd want to be in the Riffs because I want to wear a bathrobe all
okay,
day.
so you'd be a ref. Okay.
And they seem like they have a lot of manpower and they seem well stacked. So
Okay, cool.
it might be like you can only be black kind of thing.
Maybe.
So I'm probably not even allowed to be in the gang, but like if I could be, I'd love to be. Yeah. My name, this is tough. Maybe like Specs because I got glasses.
Ooh, good one. Slippers? Does it have to be a robe theme?
I mean,
Slippers, get over here. Slippers, you packing?
fuck. That's a good one. Is that your name?
No.
Or no, you were just suggesting mine. Okay.
Terry cloth?
Then what's yours? What's yours?
Terry for short. Terry. Okay. I would take a dabble in the Hawaiian shirt gang.
That gang really spoke to you.
Yep.
I'm so
They
impressed.
just seem really cool. And then I'd do like some sort of Hawaiian name. Like I'd be like Aloha or like
Your
Poi.
name is hello or goodbye.
Poi.
Okay.
Maui, Monolei.
Wow. Okay. What about the tribe in the Joe versus the
Magnum
volcano?
PI maybe. He wore
Oh
Hawaiian
yeah.
shirts.
Or
were you asking
Dale.
me?
Rescue
Dale?
Rangers.
Aw, yeah.
Rescue. Good one.
What
Good
were you
times.
asking me?
Nothing. I was asking what you could be the tribe in Joe versus the volcano.
Yeah.
The Hoonies or whatever.
Yeah.
And your name would be? Your gang. What's your gang name? You posed the question.
I just listed all those ones of the Hawaiian shirt gang.
Yeah. You have to pick your name, you said.
Those were all my names.
Oh, right.
Aloha.
I
Magnum
didn't
PI.
think you settled on one. I was
didn't.
like, okay. Wow. I'm losing it.
I like luau. Okay, luau is my name.
Everyone's name would be so lame in that.
No, they wouldn't. That'd be awesome.
They'd all be like
I don't know
weird.
what we fight with. Coconuts. Maybe those like fire sticks. Remember we went to
Your koozies. You're just like, dang it, die.
lava. What is that stuff called?
Magma.
No, but like the hardened
The
stuff.
liquid hot magma.
No, when the lava like hardens into like rock and it's like volcanic rock.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Volcanic rock.
Yeah, good one. And then two more things. Really appreciate the nice level of diversity in this film. Awesome. Really
Well, it
covered
had
all the
to be,
bases.
yeah.
And then, guys, there's an awful lot of use of the F word in this, and I'm not talking about fuck, the other F word, which is always so jarring now, and I
know.
hate it.
Yeah, but I mean, the only person that uses it again is Ajax. So it's kind of like, well, no one else seems to dip to that level.
It's just that toxic masculinity bullshit. If you don't want to go rape a lady, you're suddenly like gay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Bullshit.
Toxic
But yeah, I agree. That is. I mean, there's all the kinds of that stuff. All like the horror stuff is very like, ooh. But again, it's 70s. I hate saying like times were different back then, but like people just didn't know shit. And then it was a movie about gangs, so they're not going to be like saying nice things to each other because they didn't do something. Like they're gangs, So that's just my thought. This movie kind of makes me feel sick sometimes because they're always running for trains and the trains seem like they're really like they're definitely not going to make it. And then they're always like running full speed to the train and they somehow always fucking make it. And it's like, what world is this?
I know.
I swear to God, here, if you're running for a bus or a train, the driver's like, oh, gotta go. It's like, bye, see you later.
Oh my God, my favorite thing. I feel like I've talked about this before, but like, so when you're in the train station and like here in Boston, it'll tell you like when a train's arriving, right? So it used to be like you would have to hear it, but now like it tells you arriving or approaching. There's announcements too. So in the mornings, you see people like if they hear a train is coming, they run like that is the last train on fucking earth. And if they don't get on it, like they're going to be left behind like for the rest of their lives. I just do not get that mentality. Like the trains come pretty much like no more than 5 minutes apart, depending on like what time of day. But even like rush hour, it's pretty good. What are those people doing? Honestly, it cracks me up
I know.
every
Or
time.
like the guy that has to squeeze on to like the last
Oh
possible
my
part of the
God.
train to get on, and the guy's like, "There's another train in 2 minutes."
There's other
And
trains.
just
There's
calm
always
down.
other trains.
It's so annoying.
It's
The only
so
time,
nutty.
the only thing you need to sometimes run for is like a bus,
Yeah.
which again I hate doing. But sometimes it's the last bus, or the bus is like in increments of 40 minutes, so I don't want to wait around for 40 minutes. So sometimes I do try to run. It never goes well. I'll be honest. I don't want to embarrass myself. There's nothing worse or best. I mean, the best thing is when you're on the bus and someone's like running for the bus and they don't make it, and you're like, ugh.
Remember that time when we were like on your road and like the bus we saw it at the stop before, and we were in between the two stops and we had to run? That was tragic.
Yes, and I thought I was gonna puke, and I just like can't run.
We can make
We
it.
had just like eaten a lot. It was the worst. No, the worst was when, remember this? Like a long time ago, we went to Salem, and the commuter rail is definitely like on a schedule, right? And so like the next one wasn't probably for like another hour or whatever. So we see the train kind of pulling up, and we're like, we can't make it, and it was just some really long distance. I was wearing these flats that just like were not staying on my foot, and we had to like run, and the train guy was like waiting for us, and it was so embarrassing. 'Cause I was just like dying.
Good for that guy though. Thank
But I'm really impressed that they always made it to the train, and they always got on, and the doors always closed at the right time.
And I gotta say, I really connected on that level watching this movie with like just all the subway stuff.
Yeah, and there's like a funny line when like the vermin guy is like, "This we could be here for like days." It's like, why?
And
I'm
they're just
sick of
sitting
waiting
on
for
there.
trains, and
Oh
it's
my
like so
God.
true to life still.
Oh
Like,
my god, the boss ones are like the worst, and then just like sit forever. This on what was that Thursday? I took a train and it overshot the station twice in a row, and it had to back up.
What do you mean it overshot? It
We
went
just-
past it?
Yeah, and we just kept getting these announcements. Like, sorry for like the delay, but we've shot the station, so we need to back up.
What?
2 stops in a row, and then one time they had to get another train to assist it to back up. So it was so crazy. So everyone was just so pissed off. We lost like a half hour with this. It must have been like a new driver. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could
Well,
do that.
what's stressful on the T, and why obviously I would never want to be a train driver, is that it's just like one fucking driver for that whole train, and it's like, however, it's like 6 cars long, right?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty long. And there's only one person like driving that. Isn't that just freaks me out?
Security-wise, that's like
I
kinda
know.
scary, too.
It would not do well for me. I would not be able to do
I mean,
that.
there's always people at the stations, right? So it's like not that they're like
Yeah, like
alone.
shine a flashlight when you can close the door, but like what? I remember they have that like box that's like you press for like assistance.
Yeah.
And this girl I was on the train with once like saw a guy like pass out onto the train. I don't know, something
God.
weird. I don't know what she saw. I didn't see it. I usually see everything, but she like pressed the button. And the train conductor was like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh no, he didn't say that. He didn't say that." But she like told him what happened. He was like, "Which car are you in?" And she was like, "I don't know, the first one."
Yeah.
And then he like came on and talked to her. Like he had to stop the train at the next station and like get off and like figure out what was wrong. You know, it's just not a good system. Also, though, in this scene, there's when they get on the train, they're like standing at a station, and then there's a cop comes, and they all run in all different directions, and then a group of them get on a different train and get out of there. That is like reason numero uno why whenever there's like police action, all the trains stop, right? Because I feel like that's like what happens. Like a suspect or someone could like run away, jump on a train, and then be gone. So that's why, guys, when you're having a lousy day and it's police action, train stop due to police action 20 stations away from where you are. That's why.
Yeah.
It's all for a reason.
Train travel, man. No joke.
I mean, like, why we need to halt the trains when someone passes out, I don't know. But medical emergencies can, whatever. I hate them. But hopefully I don't have a medical emergency
we use some day, knock on
sometime.
wood.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to like hold everyone's commute up. It's just really stressful.
I know. Get off the train and pass out. What are you doing?
Well, I feel like they would still, maybe it would be a medical emergency because they have to like get the people down there and I don't know, guys.
Hot mess, guys.
Trains.
Yep. Watch out for public trans. It'll get you.
Yeah. So good times.
Good times.
I can't believe it
Good
finally
times, good
happened.
movie. I can't believe I finally watched this either. Now, what movie do we have left that I've never seen that you always bother me to watch? You'll have to think of a new one. How about that?
I don't think there is one.
Oh my god.
Not one that like would be a child. And again, this was bending the rules with the childhood, shaped our childhoods thing. But yeah, definitely
end of
not
an
one that
era.
shaped my childhood. I
What are
don't
you
think.
gonna bitch at me about?
Maybe.
now?
Oh, I know. Showgirls.
Oh, I mean, I would totally watch that.
Hilarious.
I love
You won't anymore. This is really weird.
We'll have to go to that one.
It's
That'll be
really
amazing.
awkward.
But yeah, guys,
Cool.
thank you for listening, and thank you for being born, sweetie.
Oh,
You made this world a brighter place.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
All the listeners, thank you. They told me themselves personally. So
Thanks,
this-
guys.
This goes out to you.
It's very sweet. Thanks, everybody, and thank you for listening. You can find us on Twitter at the Sweety Club or on Instagram at Large Marge Santos. Thanks for listening. Bye. Bye.